Hello friends, Adam here with FED. Today for Tier List Tuesday, we're going back to the Golden Deer tier list I made a couple weeks ago, and we're going to be applying your changes, effectively making this the Golden Deer community tier list. We may do another video of revisions if there are enough comments and complaints about what is already on here, but for now this is kind of the plan to be the final Golden Deer community tier list. And this is based on maddening mode and based on no new game plus, so just a fresh file. I read every single one of your comments. I believe there were close to 300 of them, which was really awesome. Thanks, guys. But yeah, I read everyone, and I've made changes based on kind of popular opinion. So if one person said something, I didn't necessarily make the change they said unless I saw someone else say it as well. And also, there were some instances with, like, Flame, for instance, where there were people that wanted her to be moved higher, but also there were plenty of people that wanted her to be moved lower. So I just decided to leave her where she was, because it seemed like the general consensus was, you know, like, kind of just where she already was, if you meet in the middle, kind of the average thought. So we'll leave it like that. We'll start with changes from the top, and we'll start from the changes in the bottom, and we'll go from there, I think. There was a lot, and I mean a lot, of call to move Cyril up quite a bit, and kind of ends up putting him in great tier. And I understand where people are coming from with Point Blank Volley being just such a good combat art. Guaranteed double attack with extra damage is awesome, and he learns it really quickly at C+ bows. And then of course he has Vengeance, which we know how good that can be. Alright, next change is Rafael being moved up to the top of Dope tier. Oh, and by the way, okay, so this is the whole thing. There was a lot of people kind of criticizing the naming conventions of the tiers. And the reason I did this was, one, for fun, because, you know, C through A or whatever, I mean, S through C, whatever, it's kind of boring to me, honestly. Everyone does it, and it's just like, whatever. And I really wanted to illustrate that there aren't any characters in Three Houses that are actually just bad. There are none. There's none that are actually just bad. Every single character in this game is at least good and can be used fine, even on maddening mode. So that's what I was trying to get across with the tiering, and I'm sorry if it was kind of confusing, but I thought it was kind of a fun way to do it. Alright, moving on. Sorry. Wanted to throw that out there before anything else. Okay, so now that's good and awesome tier, actually. There was some call to move Manuela up, but there's also some to move her down. So she's going to stay where she's at, and the rest of these are basically what I think no one really complained about them too much. Now to Dope tier, we have two units that many of you wanted moved up. That being Ingrid and Petra. I put them so low initially because of shaky strength stats and the fact that, yeah, they might double enemies, but it's going to be the kind of thing where it's like 2 times 0, or maybe 2 times 3, where I have Leonie higher because she does have, you know, Point Blank Volley and other tools that make it, like, kind of to help her kind of overcome that too. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. I don't feel like they have other things that really help them increase strength. And yeah, a lot of people say, yeah, they'll be in they'll have Pegasus Knight really quickly. But I feel like on maddening, to really make up for their terrible strength, they really want to go into Brigand for Death Blow, which, you know, isn't that hard, honestly, but I don't know. It's just a whole thing. But I see where people are coming from and why they wanted them moved up. Alright, next was Linhardt up a tier. People really like Linhardt, and they said, well, he has Warp and Physic just like Happy, so why is he so much lower? I don't know. I just like Happy better, I guess. Alright, now to Great tier. The changes we have here. I think the biggest one we have is Sedith. Moving up quite a bit. Moving up into Incredible tier. And I see why you want it with Swift Strikes, already on a flying mound. Awesome unit. Really good stuff. I don't know why I put him as low as I did. But he's good. So yeah, great unit. Or incredible unit, I should say. That was another thing people made fun of me for, was calling people, like, I'd say, oh yeah, Ignatz is dope, and then I threw him into incredible. Because that's just how I talk. Alright, next for changes here. The next big change actually is Mercedes up into Incredible as well. And this isn't going to be the final placement. This will change quite a bit actually once we get into Incredible tier, which is going to have a lot of changes. But Mercedes, there's actually some people that wanted her to be in near perfect tier just because her healing utility is like insane. Because she's the best healer in the game. It's without a doubt. With Physic and Fortify and then just really good magic. She can top off your entire army in a turn if you need her to. It's amazing. Really good healing, and I understand that. But I personally don't feel like she brings a whole lot of like other substance to the table. But I see what you guys want and understand. Again, there were some people that wanted her in near perfect tier, which I don't think that's deserving. But I do see the desire to move her up. Alright, now to Incredible tier, this is going to be the most movement we have, I think. This one's going to shake up a lot. So first we're going to have Bernadetta move down to Great tier. I think I kind of oversold Vengeance, where it's good, but it doesn't make Bernadetta the end-all be-all amazing unit or incredible unit that I kind of made her sound like. So a lot of you wanted her moved down, so I figured we'll move her down a tier. That might be good for y'all. Next, Balthus. There was some call to move Balthus down because Rafael and him are more similar than I give credit for. So I think a tier separating them is still fair, but the 2 tiers of separation it was actually like 3 or 4. I think it was 3 tiers of separation was a little much for some. So Balthus going down, citing that his speed is honestly really shaky, just like Raphael's. The growths are basically the same. The bases don't make I don't know, especially if you recruit early, like the bases don't make a big difference. Just kind of whatever. So great tier for Balthus. Lorenz, another one that pretty much everybody was like, hey, what the heck are you doing? Move Lorenz down. And I don't blame you. Lorenz is less than stellar. I just like his ability to heal use Recover, which is just like the most potent healing spell for if you're only using it on one unit. And I really like his ability to use that and be in range of enemies without necessarily being killed in one turn. So I liked him a little higher. But I do understand, because he is a little underwhelming when it comes to his combat and stuff, unless you set him up with Frozen Lance and everything else and really get him built just right. So I understand why moving him was important to you guys. Alright, Ignatz. Amazing tiers, what y'all wanted. He has great utility with rallies, and the high hit is just something that is so important on Maddening. And this is obviously his best route, being free. So I understand why you guys want to move higher, and I will. Same goes for Marianne. There was a lot of call to move her up a tier for Physic and then just general decent magic damage, and she's free in Golden Deer. So I get it, therefore I did it. Alright, the next big one, the last change from Incredible tier is Yuri to Near Perfect. There was so much call to move Yuri to Near Perfect. They really crediting his amazing stats. The highest speed in the game. Generally he will have the highest speed in the game. Can make really great use of the Fetters of Dromai as a dancer even. Really cool stuff. Canto Dancer. That's like the dream, right? Like everyone loves it. He's the only unit that can do that, I believe. I don't know if the Fetters of Dromai give. Now that I think about it, I actually don't know if they give Canto to any unit that has a crest, or if that's like a special crest effect. I don't remember. Either way, that's kind of cool. That would be fun to mess around with. So yeah, Near Perfect. We like Yuri. He's a good unit. Moving into Amazing. Changes here. There aren't a lot of changes, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, never mind. Nothing changes here yet, but we do have some changes in Near Perfect tier that'll shift Amazing tier around a little bit. That major change being... Oh, actually, never mind. People wanted Sylvain above Constance. That was the big change on there. And then from near perfect tier, being moved down is happy. It was... People said I overstated the magic ability of happy, and said that she's more similar to Linhardt than I gave credit for. And they're basically saying the white magic, you know, saying that warp and physic are on both characters. But I think that honestly understates the magic damage potential she has and the long range magic potential she has. And I don't even mean just with when she's in her quote-unquote canonical class of Valkyrie. I mean, she has a spell list that's good, plus one of those spells is 3 range, which is awesome. And then if you do throw her into Valkyrie or give her the Thyrsus staff or the Caduceus staff, then she is going to be having like stupid long range, you know, attacking from, you know, combine it all together. So 3 range from just the spell itself, and then another one from Valkyrie, and then 2 more from Thyrsus. What, 6 spaces away? That's insane. That's a siege tome at this point. That's crazy to me, and understated, and it just, that's super good. But I understand the call to move her down. Next, I was surprised for near perfect here. I was surprised we didn't see more people clamoring for Lysithea to be moved down, because that's kind of a popular thing to hate on Lysithea. I think it's mostly done as a meme now, but people kind of take it seriously too. And I'm gonna move her because it's what you guys want. We're gonna move her down to amazing tier. There was a lot of call to move her down, but here is what I'm going to say for Lysithea. I'm going to defend her a little bit because I think people overstate some of the problems that she has and say that makes her a bad unit. So Lysithea isn't like your traditional like super omega enemy phase tank that people generally associate with like good units in Fire Emblem, right? Or good combat units in Fire Emblem. And on Maddening, there are very few units that can get to a point where they can tank a full enemy phase of units and just be fine. Even if you use something like a guard adjutant or something, you're generally going to be hurting pretty bad or just die in the end. So I see like why Lysithea. That being said, Lysithea, sure, she gets one shot or one rounded by pretty much everything on Maddening if they're not magic, and even if it is a magic enemy, she's probably still going to take tons of damage because her resistance is, while better than like say the average physical unit, because she'll be in magical classes with good resistance bases, isn't like the best in the game, you know. So it's not great, but it's fine. She'll still take a ton of damage from magic enemies too. So I understand that Lysithea isn't impervious to damage, and she dies in 1 round. Well, so does basically every other unit in the game. On Maddening, they die in 1 or 2 rounds of combat on Maddening, especially early, and it's really rough. Aside from the few that are just like really, really good and really, really tanky, as far as defenses go. But that's not what makes Lysithea good. And if you're worried about babying her in that way, then you probably shouldn't use her. But I think you're really selling short the amazing utility she has when you say, "Oh, I can't place her a range of enemies on enemy phases, or she'll die." Well, that's why she has options like the Thyrsus or the Caduceus staff or the Valkyrie class or Dark Knight or even Holy Knight. Even though don't use Holy Knight, it sucks. Or Dark Flyer now. Any of those classes that give her Canto to be able to run in, attack, and run away. That is huge. And that makes her really good. And she's one of your few units that can 1 round on Maddening, if you like, whether it's with Luna or with Dark Spikes on a Paladin / Cavalier, she can kill things. And that is super useful on Maddening. And on top of that, she has Warp. And even if you're not trying to play the game quickly, Warp can be useful to, like, say you want to warp in the one enemy phase tank that you do have that's a Fortress Knight or a Great Knight and just actually can tank hits. You just warp them into the middle of a bunch of stuff and there you go. Or say you do want to play quickly, warp to the boss and win. Just saying. Lysithea isn't that bad, guys. Just because she can't take enemy attacks doesn't make her a bad unit. That just means you need to use her differently than you would other units. But anyways, that is the majority of the consensus of the feelings that you guys all had in the comments from the video from 2 weeks ago. But if you want anything else changed, let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you have to say. I think this list is actually pretty cool here. And again, I want to defend my the way I named the tiers real quick, just because I get kind of tired of doing the C through S tier stuff. And I also just wanted to illustrate that there are no bad units in 3 houses, that everyone is usable and everyone can be made into an endgame viable unit. It's just some it's easier to do than with others, and some just have special tools that others don't have that make them a little better. Doesn't mean anyone's bad. Anyways, thanks for watching, friends. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, so you don't miss out on any other tier list Tuesdays, and also just other videos we put out every weekday. And of course, stay tuned for more streams. We'll be starting our Fates Chat Sabotage run back up tomorrow night, Wednesday, at 6 p.m. Pacific. It's honestly been really fun so far. We've had some crazy things happen. I think at this current point, I have 7 troubadours or something, 7 troubadour/maids deployed, which is less than optimal and pretty hard, but we're making it work, and it's actually been a lot of fun. So come check that out. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.